so severe.
Hello mate, you alright?
Don't even speak to me.
I'm allowed to speak to you. I'm allowed to speak to you. Pardon? What are you doing here, that's all?
Let's take your pictures.
Huh? Come and speak to you.
I don't know what you're doing here. Why are you here?
I'll come speak to you.
No, why are you here?
Huh? For the King's coronation.
Yeah, but what are you doing?
What do you mean, what am I doing? Working.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to have a conversation with you. There's no need to be rude.
You're not being rude.
You were being rude. I come over here. The first thing you said to me was, "Don't you even dare."
London people are strange, aren't
You said, "Don't you even dare." That's the first thing you said.
Exactly, because you're kind of
Did you? I thought you. Did you not call him an asshole? Did you not call him an asshole? Did you call him a asshole?
I didn't. No.
It sounded like that.
Oh, but my camera's on.
Oh, sorry. If you didn't.
Switch it on when you got it.
Okay.
And you haven't even told me yet.
I don't need to tell you.
Yes, you did.
No, I don't.
Yes, you did.
You did.
5.1, 5.5.
You know, we know.
I'm trying to come out here and have a conversation.
To help me, have you?
No, I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
and because it's been raised to us that you're out here taking photos of people threatening to go to the toilet on the wall they put up, things like that. It will be, yeah. If you go to the toilet on it, yeah.
Threatening
If I shoot him in the head, that'll be a crime as well, won't
Yeah, it
it?
will, yeah.
Well, I've not done it.
Okay, but you're still threatening it, aren't you? So
What, threatening to have a pee against the wall?
part of our job is prevention of crime, isn't it?
damage.
Threats of criminal damage?
Part of our job is prevention of crime, isn't it?
What? Criminal damage being on a wall?
Yeah.
Appeared on a wall with criminal damage.
Is it?
You're
Serious?
Dead criminals.
It's not criminal damage.
You're tarnishing us all with the
Is
same.
it not a public order offence?
Criminal damage.
Not criminal damage. Surely?
shite name.
Seriously? I didn't know that.
Why are you so angry?
How many of them have been raping and murdering and all sorts of things, yeah? Lately.
Okay.
How many? You're not interested now.
I'm trying to have a conversation with you. That's got nothing to do with what we're here talking to.
Okay.
Okay. Continue swearing, sir. You'll be committing a public order offence.
No,
Right?
no.
You need a member.
Pull that one, boy.
Who's going to make the argument?
You go and learn some law before you come dictate to me, okay?
Okay. I've been through training school, my friend.
Yeah, but
Right from the opening, the stage is set with a promise of confrontation. A man filming in public draws police attention, and the tone hints that this won't be a routine interaction. The narration builds curiosity, suggesting something unexpected is about to unfold. It's the perfect hook, calm on the surface, but you can already sense tension brewing beneath.
In school,
The Met Police training.
Sir, why are you being
talking to me?
why are you being quite aggressive?
no, he's not being aggressive. We're just being because we.
Sorry, mate.
We're
He is
just having
being
a conversation.
aggressive.
No, he isn't.
I'm trying to have a conversation.
He's not being aggressive, sir.
to you.
Reacting to me.
I'm reacting to
how
your
have I
behaviour.
provoked you in any way to
I've
speak like
reacted
this?
to their behaviour.
How have I provoked you in any way to speak to us like this?
They're treating us like criminals on a public street.
We've been asked to film out here. We were taking photos of them and buildings and all that sort of stuff, and they asked you why, and then it's all erupted.
I don't know. If you
They've just
approach
asked
me
us
and
to
we're
come out and
concerned
ask
about
you
Yeah.
what's going on, why are you taking photos of them, that sort of
you
stuff.
threatened
Okay,
to
they've asked you to move on, you threatened to piss up walls.
I haven't.
criminal damage, isn't it?
I don't know. I didn't hear that conversation.
Right, but that's why we're out here, just having a conversation.
Yeah.
Not trying to cause any arguments or anything like that. We're just asking what's going
Why
on.
is it not?
That's it.
Why is it not?
Because you
Well, like I say, there's not. End of the day, I don't know what the problem is.
It's going in and out of this hotel.
You know.
It's not bollocks. So,
How long was I stood down there?
I don't know.
Right.
They've raised the concern that you're stood down there trying to take photos and out in the public and, you know, calling harassment alarm
Trying to take members.
What for photos in the public?
That's what they've said to us.
Yeah, but you know that you should have put him right on that.
Which is part of the reason we're here trying to talk to you.
Yeah, but you should have put him right on that. I'm not being aggressive with you, sir.
Okay, well,
Right, so you come with me then, and you go tell them. that
you're not going anywhere
A member of the
close to
public is allowed to be on this road, and a member of the
okay,
public.
this is a sterile area that they're trying to keep
A
sterile.
member of the public is allowed to take photographs on this road.
You're trying to keep this area sterile. Okay, yes they are. They've
So why
explained
didn't they
it to
approach me when I posted
us.
it?
They have approached you.
Well, 15 minutes later.
Okay, because you weren't moving on.
I've been
Because you weren't moving on. People are
You're
allowed
being
to walk-
rude now.
people-
You're being rude.
People are allowed to walk
Let
through.
me speak.
People are allowed to walk through.
God.
Where are you going?
Just tell your business where I'm going.
Okay, but I'm asking you.
What begins as a simple question quickly turns confrontational. The officer's tone feels sharp, while the man stands his ground, insisting he's doing nothing wrong. Miscommunication fuels the fire, and both sides start reacting instead of listening. This is where the tension locks in. Two perspectives clashing, each convinced they're in the right.
They're keeping this path free.
Are you his superior? Well, why are you standing allowing him to tell lies?
We
Not lying though, is he? If he was lying, I'd step in.
No, but it's a public footpath. We haven't brought barriers or anything like that.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Listen,
Don't be rude. Don't be rude.
This right here is obviously where the King's coronation parade and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
obviously we've got concerns about people trying to interrupt the coronation.
No, well, we're not here to do that. I promise you that,
Okay.
miss. Yeah,
Alright,
we're here
alright.
just to take photos and videos, right?
Exactly.
So basically, where you put the green fences, you don't want us beyond that. I get that, yeah?
Right. And these guys don't want you taking photos of them. This is a high-profile hotel, a high-profile personnel have been staying in.
Yeah,
They're trying to keep this as sterile as possible because there's high-profile people staying in this hotel.
No, but miss, what I'm saying is, like,
So they
Well,
don't
not
want
according
you
to them. I've been stood talking to the guys on the
here
step for
taking
15
photos
minutes.
and being argumentative with them. That's all they're asking, that you move away from this area. That's it.
Are you going to
miss, all I'm saying is, like, end of the day, wherever I went with my camera and filming, yeah, with this, basically, there was no complaint that I was taking pictures of anybody, but basically, what the police should do in that instance is say, look, he's in a public space, there's no law against taking photography in a public space against any individual. We can be recorded like we are. I'm being recorded as we speak, off numerous cameras, and I'm not complaining against that. So I would expect police in that instance just to say, look, he's not, if he ain't committing no crimes, just leave him be.
But they've asked us to come and have a chat because he's been asked to move away and he's become agitated and aggressive and whatnot. I wasn't there, so I haven't witnessed it. You know what I mean? That's what we've been told.
I didn't witness that, but I would be agitated if I would be asked to move from a public space.
And allow someone to
But you
Do you get what I'm saying?
It's a high-profile hotel. If you stood here taking photos of him, all they've asked him is, why are you taking...
Instead of calming things down, the conversation escalates. The officers question his intentions, while he feels targeted just for filming. There's a clear breakdown in communication. What could have been a calm exchange turns defensive. You can feel frustration building as neither side wants to back down, and the atmosphere grows increasingly tense.
Security personnel, and it's like we're getting sick of it, miss.
Yeah, and I can appreciate that because you are entitled to, but if they've asked you not to, and you carry on, they've asked you not to. If I kept taking photos of you while you're at work...
No, but that weren't the argument. So basically, right, he was taking pictures, this is what he told me, of the building, and they asked him not to do that. So therefore, they have no right to tell him to stop taking pictures of the building, right? So if the police come over, I expect you to perhaps just say, well, look, just you carry on with your day. He can take pictures of the building.
All we've done, as soon as he come out, he said, come here, tried to have a chat with him, he's gone, don't you fucking dare, or whatever he said, don't you dare, I didn't hear it, right? And it was a big acted like this. That raises our suspicion that he's up to something untoward. Yeah, I hope you can agree.
No, not untoward. I'll explain for him. He's angry because basically we're sick of getting challenged. We've only been out for an hour and a half, and everybody keeps telling us.
I'm not being funny, sir. During a high-profile incident like this, a high-profile thing where there's a lot of members of other states around, members of other states, you can appreciate if you're taking lots of photos of security and all that sort of stuff, it's going to raise our suspicions that you're trying to do something. I'm not saying you are.
So you've had a talk.
If you're stood here taking photos of here. What benefit have you got of taking a photo of this?
Because I'll answer that, although I don't have to.
Yeah.
I will answer it for you. I'm a visitor to London, so therefore I want to get as much footage of the whole event that I can, right? For no ill intent purposes. So, you know, I'm just explaining on a lighter note to you that I'm not here to cause you problems. What I do want my rights to be upheld is to do that in a publicly accessible place.
But you are going to get challenged. On a day like today, you are going to get challenged as to what you're doing and why.
But could you not circulate it? Can you not? No. Oh, that's the thing. So
An unusual accusation enters the conversation, catching everyone off guard. The claim sounds exaggerated, almost absurd, yet it's treated seriously. The man pushes back firmly, highlighting how quickly harmless behavior can be misinterpreted. This moment adds a layer of disbelief, intensifying the situation and making the conflict feel even more unnecessary.
Post you go to, you're going to be facing security.
We're
going to ask you.
I can guarantee you, one thing, we'll definitely not breach any fences or try and do anything like that. You know what I mean?
We don't know that, do we?
I'm telling you.
Until you come up to us and have a conversation like we are, we don't know that, do we?
Well, that's my word. I'm here just to film.
But if you're stood here just taking a photo of them, they've got the right to challenge you as to what's going on.
They can ask it all they want. Yeah, I get that.
And you can say, I'm allowed to take photos in a private place. If they
Public
want you
place.
to move on, take it that they're asking you to move on for a reason. You know, they're trying to keep this area as sterile as possible. At the end of the day, half a mile in that direction, or where those buildings are, is where the new king is going to be going to.
Yeah.
Across, yeah,
and that's why you've set your barriers. That's why you've set your barriers here, and you don't want us going beyond the barriers.
So you can record, you can take photos in a public place. There's no problem.
Yeah.
Right? But if they ask you to move on, then I suggest that you just move on quietly. There's no benefit of taking a photo of here.
No, you don't know that though, miss.
But if you've taken a photo of here, you've taken some recording, nothing's going to change. I mean, it's going to stay like this now.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I've got my footage now, and we're only having a talk due to a conversation that you've come over. So basically, I'm happy that I've already got my footage of here. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but I would also like the personnel to know that if we wanted to stay on the street that's open to public, we can do it also, you know. Even though I'm finished, it'd be good for the security personnel to know that as long as we're not trying to breach anything or get in anybody's way.
But you can understand why they're very heightened.
I understand, and that's the reason why I've gone the extra mile to try and speak to you and say, look,
well, I appreciate that.
I'm not here to cause you any hostility.
No,
I'm not here to cause you any security breaches or anything like that. And I'm literally here with cameras.
No,
you know.
fine. And I appreciate that. Just obviously, we've obviously been asked to do a job to protect everyone.
The officers introduce the idea of a restricted or sterile area, attempting to justify their stance. The man listens but confidently challenges the logic, pointing out that he's still within a public space. This becomes less about behavior and more about rights versus authority, with both sides trying to assert control over the situation.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I'm not here to cause any issues.
Perfect.
You'll see me all about London because I'm trying to get as much footage.
Where are you from then, if you're not from around here?
We're from up north. Okay. But basically, we think this is quite bizarre. You know, like how, you know, just because of a select few that people have to be restricted like this. And I understand the king's been coronated and stuff, but it's just crazy. How security are just coming, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, and it's like, why? We're not even doing anything. We're not doing any harm. I think when in regards to the wee situation, he has to go to the toilet, and they looked him up and down and went, definitely not. They sort of disrespected him by looking him up and down as if to say, you're not good enough to come in here, right? So that's got his back up. So
I can kind of appreciate that, but at the same
do you know what I mean?
They've got a job to do. Obviously, they don't work for us, we don't work for them. I don't know what they've been told and what they haven't been told.
No. Well, can you imagine this, right? So I don't know your annual salary, right? Can you imagine out of your civvies, right? You go to somewhere and they're all swanky top of the range hotels, and you ask for something in a need of like emergency, like a wee or something, and they look you up and down just because it's a day like this, right? Can you imagine how disrespectful you?
I can appreciate that.
And that's all it was. That's why he's got his back up, and he made the joke in regards to saying, okay, I'll pee up against the wall. He has no intentions of doing that. Like.
No, but that does constitute a criminal offence. Threats to cause damage is a criminal offence.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, that's a new one to me. I didn't think that the saying I'm going to have a wee against the wall, I didn't think that could be criminal damage.
Yeah. So it's temporary or permanent damage. So temporary damage because someone's got to come out and clean it all down would constitute criminal damage.
Does it?
Even if you get chalk and draw on the pavement in chalk, criminal damage.
Yeah, that's only what I didn't know that. I was always on the understanding it comes under a different law. You know, like.
The man calmly explains his purpose. He's simply documenting the moment, nothing more. This clarity changes the tone. The officer softens, and for the first time, there's mutual understanding. The tension eases slightly, showing how quickly things can shift when communication becomes clear and respectful instead of reactive.
You know?
Potentially, but essentially it's criminal damage.
But it was it wasn't in
his sort of attitude and demeanour. If this is what he's been like to security, I can understand why they would have got their back up a bit. I'm not saying that he did with them, but I can understand why they got their back up a bit and why they're a bit more heightened as to let him through and all that sort of stuff.
No, he didn't want to go through.
But I can understand why if he's acting like this. Yourself, you've been very calm and we've had a chat. But obviously he's been shouting at my colleague there and stuff. You know what I mean? And When you're compliant with us and you talk to us, we're more than happy to have a chat with you and help you out. If you start screaming and shouting us in the street like he's been doing my colleague, what do you expect us to do?
No, I know, but I've told you the reason why he's got his back up. You know,
I get it.
End of the day, he's seen the uniform of everything that he's heard about the Met, and you know, he's probably thinking, why are you coming to me? Like, you know, I just after just a chat with them, like, you know, I'm only going off what he's told me.
Sure.
So he just felt disrespected how they talked to him. But anyway, miss, like I say, I'm finished with mine.
That's right.
But it'd be good for him to know that, you know, as long as we're not trying to breach any barriers, that we're okay, as long as we're not blocking or causing a nuisance or anything like that. You know,
I think they're a bit more heightened here just because of this hotel, because it's where a lot of high-profile
dignitaries and stuff like that.
Exactly,
Yeah, I get that, because they can see the registrations. You can tell they're
So
not.
I think that's why they're a little bit more heightened here. Some of the other roads they might be less so. They might be alright.
Yeah.
You're still going to get challenged. Don't get me wrong. You're still going to get.
I know. Well, that's what. But so we're probably going to have these conversations throughout the day now. But it's crazy. It's the world we're living in. Like a camera. Or the mere of a questioner, can I use your toilet? I can understand them probably not letting him into the toilet because of who's in and out, but there's no need to look him up and down and go, probably not, like, you know. As you can tell, we're not.
The earlier frustration is explained. It wasn't just about filming, but about feeling disrespected. A small interaction escalated emotions, setting the tone for everything that followed. Once this context is revealed, the situation makes more sense. It highlights how quickly misunderstandings can grow when emotions are already running high.
Clear in the lens anyway.
I've been stood there 15 minutes chatting with him,
Yes.
and then all of a sudden he goes over, grasses to the security, that I'm going to pee against the wall. Then pair of idiots come over, trying to move me. Sterile area, move. You know, you can't talk to members of the public like that when they're not doing nothing wrong.
Okay, and I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that, 100%.
So that's, my back is already up when you've arrived.
Yeah, but me coming over here, in any way when I approached you, I wasn't rude. I asked you what you were doing. And you've immediately gone to this
went on
level.
the back foot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I know what you're coming to do.
And now we're having a civilised conversation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now we are.
Now we stay at this level,
Yeah.
and I ask you what is it you're doing here today?
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. I just need to know, because it's been raised to us, which is why I've come over here. My plan was to move you on, but if you stay at this level and stay over here, I have no issues with that.
Right.
Which is what I was going to say to you if you'd had a conversation with us.
So,
instead you went to this level.
I'll ask another question.
Yeah.
You're saying I'm getting angry and aggressive. That's why you're moving me from
This is a sterile area.
suddenly
though.
sterile area.
This is a sterile area.
So I'm allowed to be angry and aggressive out there.
No, that's still a public order.
So why are you moving me on?
Pardon?
It's better to contain the situation.
You can go and stand there all you like, but they've asked us. They said this is a sterile area. So we're trying to keep.
King.
The king was.
The road is not closed.
Get his crown.
Yeah, but the king is from all people, and all people you need to see photo. Remember, why it's closed?
You go down to Trafalgar Square.
But some people don't
They're
need.
trying to keep this area here
All the way down that way.
paramedics.
All the way down to
That's
the
that's why we're getting pulled.
And then
Because they reported us for
people allowed
taking
to walk through,
pictures.
100%.
Yeah, but then I don't understand.
But we don't want to go past the barrier. We just stay on the road.
The conversation shifts into something more productive. The officer explains their position, while the man explains his frustration. Instead of arguing, they begin acknowledging each other's perspective. It's a rare moment where logic replaces ego, and you can feel the tension slowly dissolve into a more respectful dialogue.
From that side coming, the king.
Yeah, no, but the king, he won't even be here, so it's well protected.
Yeah, it's them. I don't know who they are. They're coming.
Over there I stay. I don't go to the road, no? Can I pass from here?
Stand behind them there? I don't have an issue.
I don't know.
You won't be able to get past the barrier. What, like
Stay over there.
up into the barrier, yeah. But they rung the police on us.
But they're trying to keep this. I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
When you leave, I'm not here to stand. I'm not coming to London to stand here all day. So when you go,
100%, I understand that.
when you go,
But they're trying to keep this area sterile.
we shall be on our way. When
Okay.
you go.
All right.
Yeah.
So if I come back in 10 minutes, you're still gonna be here,
Well,
right?
no.
You are.
We won't.
On your face.
First of all, we got our footage, sir, honestly.
We're here. We're
You
here
know,
to cover everything
Okay.
in London.
All right. But then have a good day.
Sorry for we got off on the wrong
You
foot.
did, massively.
You know, We had a good conversation, miss. You know.
Just, you are going to get challenged.
And we already have been.
Yeah, you're going to get challenged.
You've got
What I
to
don't
understand
expect
that
from is
today's a
jump
massive day, massive
trying to tell
threat
me to
levels
move
to us.
on the
Yeah.
public street.
So anyone that's hanging around
that's
acting
all.
maybe in the tiniest way
Just
suspicious,
take your opportunity. You're probably going to get challenged here and there.
Yeah.
we're going to come over
get
and
asked to move
engage.
on. Okay?
But all we're asking for is that our law, that the laws that prevent that let us do certain activities don't get suppressed, because we can understand, you know, we're not protesters, we're not here to cause any anarchy, we're not here to cause any issues for you.
But at the same time, you have to appreciate there's a lot of protesters around. You know, people have already been arrested today for protesting and that sort of stuff because they've been trying to get onto the road to try and block the thing. So everything.
Anti-royal protesters.
No, but this is where your time would be better spent on like people like, you know, who are actually, you know what I mean.
That, but if you're not raising concerns to these people, we have no reason to come over.
Yeah, but it was the initial with, you know, the toilet looking him up and down. If they hadn't have done that, like, you know, it probably wouldn't have got to that conversation with him.
Well, we'll leave you to it.
Alright, guys.
Obviously, please move on from the area.
Yeah, we got our footage. We was going anyway, you know.
Alright, I'll see you later.
Where are you going?
Back inside there where I'm supposed to be posted. Where I'm supposed to be posted.
Right, see you.
What started as a heated confrontation ends on a calm note. Both sides reflect on how things escalated and recognize it didn't need to go that far. There's a sense of closure, even mutual respect. It's a reminder that communication, not authority or defiance, is what truly resolves conflict. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.